Hi Sagittarius, this is Tisch Aitken, and this is your monthly report for the month of April 2022. We begin the month in Aries season, and Mercury, which is the planet of communication, the Sun, which represents ego and vitality, and Chiron, the wounded healer, are all transiting in the cardinal fire sign of Aries. And they're transiting in your house of romance and creativity and self-expression. And it's a fellow fire sign, very harmonious with your own. But we're also dealing with a lot of planets transiting in the fixed air sign of Aquarius. And we are currently in the new age of Aquarius, which we will be until March 7th of 2023, because Saturn is transiting, bringing to form the Aquarian age. And as we begin the month of April, Vesta, which is an asteroid that represents hearth and home, Mars, which is the planet of action and passion, Venus, the planet of love and beauty, and Juno, which is an asteroid that represents partnering, as well as Saturn, which is the planet of karma and structure, are all transiting in your house of thinking, communication, learning, and local community. And I think it's really important to emphasize, whether you're taking classes, whether you're reframing your perspective on things and getting involved in your local community. Aquarius itself is a sign of organizations and groups. It also represents social media and technology, whether we like it or not. And with all of this emphasis in your third house of thinking and learning and networking, if you're looking for a job, it's an excellent time to promote yourself. If you're looking to promote your business, it's excellent for doing marketing plans and social media. And if you're looking to meet people and network and get involved in your local community, it's a lot of communication and getting involved and networking. So that's a big deal. But there's also a really heavy Piscean and Neptunian tone. Jupiter, which is the ruler of your sign, the luckiest planet, the planet of higher wisdom, good fortune, and abundance, is transiting in the mutable water sign of Pisces. And it's transiting with Neptune, which is the planet of dreams and spirituality. And they've been traveling together for quite a while now, and they're going to peak from April 9th through April 12th. And they're transiting in your house of home and family and emotional foundation. And this is a really magical and historical pairing because Neptune takes 165 years to orbit. And it's meeting up with Jupiter in the sign of Pisces, and that has not occurred in over 165 years. It's a very manifesting and magical and imaginative combination. Jupiter expands whatever with which it comes into contact. So it can expand the hysteria and the fear, because Pisces can, go to those darker places. It's a very sensitive and vulnerable sign, but it's a really magical, magnetic and magnetizing cycle. So really working with your optimism in a really difficult time to expand your sense of well-being, dealing with home and family and real estate, but also getting your needs met. And as we get later in the month of April, there will be 5 points transiting in your house of home, family, and emotional foundations. So a lot of focus on your family life, your home, but also getting out there and networking and connecting. So we begin the month, and on April 1st, well, actually on March 31st, there is a new moon that takes place at 11:24 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and on April 1st at 2:24 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 11 degrees and 30 minutes of the cardinal fire sign of Aries. And this new moon occurs in your house of romance and fun and creativity. This is a great new moon because the sun loves being in Aries. It's very strong. It's exalted in this placement. And the new moon is conjunct Mercury, the planet of communication. And I think a lot of it is really trying to practice positive thinking and renewal with this, because Chiron, the wounded healer, is also right on this new moon. So the new moon is always a time to set intentions, to plant new seeds, to do the law of abundance, to manifest new opportunities. And again, it's falling in your house of joy and the heart chakra and creativity, really finding your inner muse. But this is a really potent new moon. The sun meets up with Mercury with Chiron, the wounded healer, at 10:56 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and more light and less healing process. And then Mercury meets up with Chiron on April 2nd at 9:42 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that's more about positive thinking and bringing in healing, because the sun and Mercury will pair up that date at 7:11 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So again, a lot of focus on taking action to manifest positive thinking and plant new seeds. Aries is a very action-oriented sign. On April 3rd, the moon is transiting in the fixed Earth sign of Taurus, and it will meet up with Uranus, the planet of surprise and the unexpected, at 1:47 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That occurs in your house of work and health and daily routine. That could be an unpredictable day for all of us. Whatever you think may happen could be something else, but just going with the flow. The moon is exalted in Taurus, and it could be very innovative perhaps, but maybe you have an unexpected work situation that arises. And then on April 5th, Venus, which is the planet of love and money, changes signs and enters the mutable water sign of Pisces. And it's going to be transiting in Pisces until May 2nd. Venus is exalted in Pisces. It's very romantic and spiritual and loving. And it's transiting in your house of home and family. So it's a good time for decorating. If you work from home and you have your own business, it's really good for bringing in financial opportunities. And again, Venus loves being in Pisces. And then on April 7th, Mercury, which is the planet of communication, forms a helpful aspect to Saturn, the planet of structure and commitment. And this is an excellent aspect which occurs at 8:37 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. This is good for you for focusing on work situations, on promoting yourself and networking. It's solid communication. On April 8th, Jupiter, the grand benefic, forms a very helpful aspect to the North Node of Destiny. And the North Node is transiting in the sign of Taurus and will be until July of next year. And it's transiting in your house of work and daily routine. And this could bring very fated and auspicious opportunities with work, with real estate. And it's just a very auspicious, and lucky combination. So pay attention to whom you meet and to what arises at that time for you. And then on April 9th, Jupiter and Neptune are now really getting close in the sky, and they're going to peak from April 9th through April 12th. Jupiter, the grand benefic and the ruler of your sign. Neptune, the modern ruler of Pisces. Jupiter is the ancient ruler. This is a really manifesting and magical, romantic, and creative pairing. And again, one we will never see again in our lifetime. And it is a very, very special pairing. And really use this to work with whatever you're trying to attract into your life. And it's a very healing energy. And For you, it's falling in the house of emotional foundation. So really getting your needs met. And that day the moon is in Libra, and it's making good aspects to both Jupiter and Neptune. And so that's a really, nice combination. So, so dealing with that. And then on April 10th, Mercury squares Pluto. Well, the moon will be in Cancer actually over the weekend, but it's making good trines, very positive energy to both Jupiter and Neptune. And then on April 10th, Mercury squares Pluto, the planet of death and regeneration, at 4:45 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that could conceivably bring power struggles. My feeling is, because there's such a magical combination in the sky with Jupiter and Neptune, it's more about eliminating negative habits and negative thinking and helping to, bring in room and make space for positive energy, which we need so much, So really eliminating things that are blocking you from happiness. And then later that date, Mercury changes signs and enters the fixed Earth sign of Taurus at 10:09 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, where it will be until April 29th in your house of work and health and daily routine. So getting very busy if you're focusing on your health or focusing on important work projects. This is good for getting things accomplished. On April 12th, Jupiter and Neptune become exactly conjunct at 10:42 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 23 degrees and 59 minutes of the mutable water sign of Pisces. And again, this is in your house of home, family, and emotional foundation, bringing you security and comfort in a very chaotic and broken world. So that's a good thing, really finding what makes you feel comfort and feel centered. On April 14th, Mars, which is the planet of action, enters the sign of Pisces at 11:06 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, where it will be until May 24th in your house of real estate, home, and family. If you're planning on moving this year, you've got Jupiter, the luckiest planet in this sector, on and off until December 20th. And as we get more into the month of April, a lot of emphasis, whether you're doing renovations, whether you're fixing up your space, whether you work from home, you'll be very busy with your home business. On April 16th, there is a full moon that takes place at 2:55 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time in the cardinal air sign of Libra. And this full moon squares Pluto, the planet of death and regeneration. And it falls in your house of friends, groups, and networking. So there could conceivably be issues with friends. There could be, Pluto is death and renewal. Maybe it's eliminating blocks. Maybe a friend is going through something difficult, but realistically there could be some endings or some drama with that full moon square Pluto. On April 17th, Mercury and Venus form a very harmonious aspect at 9:09 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that's good for networking, that's good for romantic communication, it's good for creative ventures, and it's a lovely combination. And then Mercury meets up with Uranus at 11:51 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and on 18th at 2:51 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that is a very unpredictable pairing, and it's in your house of work. Maybe something very unexpected happens. Maybe there's some mishaps. Maybe there are unexpected work opportunities that come in out of the blue. But extremely innovative and inventive thinking, so really good for brainstorming. On April 18th, Venus forms a very harmonious aspect to Uranus, and this is also very creative thinking, and it's very, it can be romantic, it can be innovative. But later on the 18th, the sun squares Pluto at 11:14 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That could bring issues with perhaps with financial situations or investments, and it could just be, it's going to be an intense day. People could be looking for power struggles or being combative, so lay low if you can. And then on April 19th, the sun changes signs and enters the fixed Earth sign of Taurus at 10:24 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, where it will be until May 20th in your house of work and daily routine, bringing light to that area of your life. Also good for if you're focusing on a health regimen, an exercise regimen, nutrition, or spiritual meditation, whatever it is, it's good focus for that area of your life. And then on April 24th, Mercury squares Saturn, the planet of restrictions, at 9:50 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That could bring challenges and delays. Maybe there's some work or financial issues that feel a bit restrictive, but later that day, Mercury forms a helpful aspect to Neptune at 6:37 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That could bring creative thinking to your and solutions to your problems. On April 26th, Mercury and Jupiter are in harmony, and that's really good for positive thinking and optimism and good communication. And they form a good aspect at 10:11 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and on April 27th at 1:11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So that's a nice energy. On April 28th, Mercury forms what's known as a trine. That's a 120-degree angle. It's an aspect of, it's a flow of energy. It's a facilitating energy, and that occurs at 8:05 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Good for work opportunities, good for empowerment in your thinking, good for financial opportunities. Now, the big kicker is the end of the month. Pluto, the cosmic compost, the planet of death and regeneration, power and money, stations retrograde at 2:35 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 28 degrees and 36 minutes of the cardinal Earth sign of Capricorn. And this sets off for Saturn, the cosmic architect of the zodiac, was transiting from March 5th until December 3rd of 2020. And we feel that build up 5 days before and 5 days after. There could be major endings, major beginnings, major shifts that are happening at that time. And, it is intense, and it is the day before a partial solar eclipse that occurs on April 30th at 4:28 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 10 degrees and 28 minutes of the fixed Earth sign of Taurus. Eclipses shake us up and wake us up. This solar eclipse is like a new moon on steroids, and it is the second new moon of the month. And it occurs in your house of work and daily routine. It's a time of new beginnings, but I have seen in my studies of eclipses, major endings can occur on solar eclipses and major beginnings can occur on lunar eclipses, which are like full moons on steroids. But it's a lot going on. It's a heightened sense of activity. It can raise anxiety. And the fact that this new moon eclipse is on the planet Uranus, which is the great awakener of the zodiac. I find eclipses are kind of like Uranus transits. You can have change in a flash. You can have news you get that comes out of the blue that changes your life forever. You bring major beginnings, major endings, and major awareness to whatever area it is in your chart. For you, It's in the house of health and daily routine and work. And it could bring some very innovative new beginnings in that sector for you. And the other thing to mention is that Juno, which is an asteroid of partnering, also enters Pisces on April 20th, transiting in your house of home and family. So a lot of focus from the middle end of the month on family and getting your needs met. So I wish you a lot of luck. It's going to be a very big month, particularly the end of the month, and this really magical, romantic Jupiter-Neptune pairing. Thank you very much and good luck.